Hello. Welcome to episode 4 of ManHound Sound Sessions. I'm your host, Bill Wardlow. My guest today, Noah Smith. If you haven't heard of Noah, just wait. He's out there doing the hard work. He's dedicated to what he's doing. And I think it's just a matter of time until the guy blows up and he's going to be everywhere. He's a great songwriter, an excellent performer, and an all-around nice guy. It was a pleasure to hang out with him, and I really enjoyed our conversation. I think you will as well. So here's my interview with Noah Smith. Hey, Noah. Welcome to the podcast.
What's up, man?
Oh, not a whole lot.
Good to be here.
Glad to have you out. I know you're a busy man. Thanks for stopping by.
I appreciate it. We've been talking about doing this for a while, so I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. So what are you up to right now?
Well, now I'm sitting right here in the studio with you playing some songs and talking about songwriting, and it's good to be here. We've had a busy, all last year was crazy, and obviously we're into a new year, but I've had a nice little piece of rest. We did our big show on New Year's Eve, but it's just we've been kind of resting a little bit. The band hasn't been super busy on the road, so but we are gearing up for new music 2020, and other than that, man, other than going at this big music machine, I mean, I'm going to basketball games with my kids and helping with my wife's business and encouraging her and growing with her and just loving life, man.
That's good. That's good. That's the way to do it.
But then that music machine is a big piece of that, obviously.
Right. It does suck up a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure.
So how'd you get started in the whole music thing?
Man, I was young. I started writing, like journaling, encouraged, we had like an 8th grade teacher that just encouraged us to like free write. And I found a creative kind of vein to chase that. And so we started, I think it was like 7th or 8th grade. My teacher would do, we just have like this expressive time to just write whatever we wanted. And from that, my great uncle, my Uncle David, who's passed, and but he last year actually, and he was a poet, and every year on Christmas he would bring me these books of his poems, and I was like the only one in the family that kind of appreciated that. Some people in our family would kind of poke fun of the fact that he was kind of a different cat, if you will, and right. But he would bring me these, so I'd study his words and study his lyrics, and from that, I just kind of fell in love with words and stories and writing. So it started with writing in general before music was ever a part of it. And
that's different.
Yeah, and I just fell in love with that. I always wanted to write a book. I still want to write some books. I still have some things I want to write out and put out in the world, as far as literature goes. But music came because our buddies were into music, and all of my friends were into music, and we were rock and roll kids and growing up, and it was kind of the place to take my words and put them to music. And there was a bunch of good friends that we had growing up in high school, kind of freshman year, and just started a band from that. And then everybody else kind of most people start just doing poker nights and whatever the other normal stuff that people do, and working that job and getting married and all that stuff and having kids. And I'm married and had kids along the way, and I just kept going and didn't stop. And now here we are today, traveling around, and we've hit 12 states in Canada, and just keeping the thing on the road and believing in the dream still, and
nice.
Chasing it. So yeah, it kind of started with words, and then songs started coming about my freshman year of high school. I still play out a song that I wrote in my 8th grade year, sometimes, called Live, Love, Love, and it creeps its way back into the right room. So, but for me, man, it's always been about the songs, and it still is about the songs. That I think
nice.
The songs are what it's all about. It all starts with a song.
Did you start right off the bat with your own songs?
Yeah, so
did you ever do the cover band thing?
I never did. I've never done that.
Awesome.
I never did that. I think maybe some people might combat me on the fact that we do play now. Really just end of 2018, 2019, we started playing some rooms that some cover bands might exist in, but we kind of bullnose our way and trick people into letting us come in there and do what we do. But we play covers live with my full band, but we've never been in a cover band, never did the cover thing. Really, this year was the first time we ever really kind of branched out and started doing that. And really, it was a way for us to get into rooms that might say, well, we don't have original music or we don't have country music, but we do this. And, we tour under my name, Noah Smith, and so we can kind of build an event and get into some of those rooms and play those things. So yeah, it always was about that. It was almost a negative, to be honest with you, looking back. Like, I wish I would have been a little more open to the music that was out there, because I have some friends that know all kinds of cover music. They know all kinds of guitar licks from those cover songs. They studied music in that way. I don't know if it was me being stubborn, or I think my mom just tricked me into having this wildly strong creative self-esteem when I was a kid. And like, I really thought that I had things to say. I still do, that need to be said and help change the world or mold the world or inspire the world or impress something onto what I'm thinking onto other people. So I just was stubborn, man. I was like, I'm going to do my stuff. And so, our bands in college, just 30, 45-minute sets, all originals, hammer them out, get with other bands and play. And that's kind of different from the country world, because, I play country music, and a lot of country musicians are very deeply inspired by the deep roots of, country music. So they started playing those songs, and then that transformed into who they are as artists.
Right. That's through rock and roll too.
Rock and roll. And I don't know, man. I kind of reverse engineered it. It's not, and I don't say that as like a pat on my back. It's just the way it happened for me. It's weird. It's weird sometimes.
It's a rough road to take. Because like you said, it is easier to get into rooms when you're playing covers. Especially the bars around here when you're starting out. You almost have to play some covers, or they're not out to hear original music. And they don't want nothing to do with you.
And a lot of people still aren't, and it's unfortunate. There's cultures and communities in this country and in the world that really want to do that. A lot of good listening rooms and things around that people are there for the songs. And I get it. There's a place for all of that. There's a place for the jukebox. There's a place for the band. They want to go and have a good Friday, Saturday night and forget about the details. And when you're a songwriter, I mean, it's all about the details. And when you find music fans that are that detailed, those are the fans that I love to see at my shows. That they want to hear every word. They want to hear the reason why we're doing all of it. It's not just a good time song. And so for me, it's always been about chasing that, man. I've just fell in love with the words and wanting to hear people sing them back. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, that's my favorite thing in the world, is somebody singing along to something that I thought of and put down in my journal, and it came to life.
It's a great thing.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff. That's the special stuff for me. And now I'm some people might call me an entertainer and in my own right and things like that. I mean, our live performance is definitely entertaining. So we craft some things to help serve that. And so, we do some cover songs. We do some Johnny Cash and do some Queen stuff and here and there and get creative. And we got some new stuff.
Wait a minute. Stop. You do Queen?
We play Fat Bottom Girls, like a kind of a country folk kind of weird thing of Fat Bottom Girls.
I've got to hear that.
Yeah, that usually makes it to our way.
I always said there was two people who should never be covered. It's Freddie Mercury and Ann Wilson.
I was worried you were going to say Freddie Mercury and Johnny Cash, because that'd be.
Everybody has such a hard time. Every cover band wants to cover both of those people, and hardly ever pull it off.
Yeah, there was a sense of respect for me too. Like, I didn't, it wasn't that I didn't want to do it. I just didn't, I guess I just really, I didn't want to do it. I felt like that was their art. Like, I really looked at this stuff as art from the beginning. And it's a craft, it's like blacksmithing. Like, you're out there. That guy's out there taking his hammer and chiseling and sweating and making that thing happen. I grew up in a very blue collar house. My dad was a heavy construction, heavy labor, laying water main. That's what he's getting ready to retire. But I was surrounded by hard work. So if it was easy for people, I didn't know it. I just assumed everything was hard. And so I respected the fact that, like, that's their words, and we're not going to we're not going to mess with that, you know? So I didn't think it was for me to do that. But man, I have some friends that they're the opposite. And a lot of people say like, well, I fell in love with John Mayer. I studied everything John Mayer did, and then that informed my sound. And you can hear that. And that's a great way to create art as well. And, you know, I'm 32 now, and I'm really starting to get into a different place musically where I'm studying those type of people, the masters in their craft of guitar, lyrics, anything, melody, and then using that and stealing it and taking it and molding it. And then now I kind of have this like, like I know I'm finding this whole other thing.
Opens up a big world.
Right. So I'm glad I have the foundation that I started with. I think I'm in a place where I'm willing to open my eyes and ears up. And now, I mean, well, I could play a whole cover set now and be confident and happy because it's music. It's appreciating it on a different level, you know. For me, it was also an identity thing. I mean, I identified as this music kid very young, and it was the only thing in the world that I knew. It was the only thing I cared about. I didn't care if I hurt people. I didn't care if it was, you know, it was just that. I just wanted to be in a band. I just wanted a van and a trailer, and I wanted to rehearse. And we would rehearse so long on like one song and just over and over and over. And it's like, it kind of sucks the life out of it after a while, you know, and, but my identity changed as I grew, and you know, my heart grew with God, and realized like, okay, this rock and roll thing isn't what it's all about. Like, life's here, and let's partake. And now I look around, and everybody around me in my life is, I mean, even sitting here talking to you is because of music, you know. So it's a double-edged sword. It's bittersweet, but it's also the biggest blessing I could have ever asked for, the gift of music, to be able to pursue this and figure it out. And it's a cool thing.
It's a wonderful thing. Yeah. Well, let's take a break and listen to your new single.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. This song is a new single that's out, and I'm really excited about it because it's something that sat around for a while, and I kind of questioned if I was going to put it out. It's the title of this one's "Cigarettes and Jesus," and you can find it everywhere online. And I wrote this song with Ashley Taylor in Nashville, Tennessee, and we were talking about one time about just kind of get into a songwriting session, and we're kind of just, that first hour is like getting to know each other if you've never wrote together and kind of feeling things out. And we were talking about how somehow it came up that we're on the road a lot, and when we come home on Saturday nights late, that, you know, if I still play on my worship team sometimes at church, and I still got to get my butt up and go to church on Sunday morning. And then, so kind of burning both ends of the candle, if you will, Saturday night and Sunday morning. But then the more that I played this song out, and the more the words kind of came to life, this song's really about, you know, it's cigarettes and Jesus. So you kind of have the good and the bad, and we all kind of live that life and walk that line from vices, you know, cigarettes, drinking, anything, sex, drugs, rock and roll, whatever it is in your life, to the good thing, and, you know, finding a saving grace in Jesus. And so this song's about walking that path, and kind of a lot for me is being on the road and kind of seeing the world, and then coming back home, family, and focused on God, and knowing where your identity is that entire time. So this one's called Cigarettes and Jesus. I've seen the light from heaven in a neon sign. I felt the burn from getting high on Saturday night. I heard Sunday morning coming down. The church choir was singing about amazing grace, how he died for me. You know I can't live without cigarettes and Jesus. Always pick me up, I can't put them down. I can't live without them. I'm either a heaven sent or hell bound. From the Marlboro red letters written in red, I'm a front row sinner, like the preacher said. I need a double shot of whiskey and forgiveness. Man, I don't wanna quit. Cigarettes and Jesus. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John remind me of what the gospel says. Jack and Jim and Maker's Mark
always help me to forget what a mess I'm in. 'Cause the good Lord knows if it was up to me, I'd blow it all up in smoke. Cigarettes and Jesus always pick me up, I can't put them down. I can't live without them. I'm either heaven sent or hellbound. From the Marlboro red letters written in red, I'm a front row sinner, like the preacher said. I need a double shot of whiskey and forgiveness. Man, I don't wanna quit. Cigarettes and Jesus, yeah. Cigarettes and Jesus. Cigarettes and Jesus, I wish pick me up, I can't put them down. I can't live without them. I'm either heaven sent or hellbound. Marlboro red letters written in red, I'm a front row sinner, like the preacher said. I need a double shot of whiskey and forgiveness. Man, I don't wanna quit. Oh, what a mess I'm in. I don't wanna quit. Cigarettes and Jesus. Cigarettes and Jesus.
Amazing song. That was great.
Thanks, man.
So what's your writing process? How do you come up with something like that?
Well, that was a co-write. So I wrote with Ashley Taylor, and we get in a room and we've met. We played a round together. There's this really awesome thing in Nashville called Revival 615. It's just a writers round, so three different writers up and sharing songs, and that's very popular in Nashville as far as in the writing communities and things. And
what is that? The Bluebird down there that does the?
Yeah, Bluebird's a great spot. So this is actually at the Tin Roof on Demumbrian. If you're ever in Nashville, everybody out there in podcast land, on Tuesday nights at Tin Roof on Demumbrian, it's called Revival 615. So I met Ashley there, and we hit it off, and we're just talking about, and I liked what she did. She likes what I did. So co-writing is something that I didn't know about for the longest time, and after I started diving in and writing with other people, it's probably my favorite thing to do as a writer, because it brings out the best of everybody. And it has to, or you're not going to survive in that world. And it's made me a better writer. I've always been a big fan of there's a saying that people say about a lot of things in life, but I turned it into, if you're the best songwriter in the room, you're in the wrong room, meaning you have to always you have to find your people that are great, and you need to write with them a lot. But you need to also keep pushing yourself, because we can become very complacent in the fact that this just works and it feels good, right? But when you start finding those people that want to push you to make yourself better, and you're looking at them and like, man, these guys, this is incredible. Like, they just came up with that. I would have never came up with that. I would have never thought of that. The way that they reverse engineered that and told the story first and painted the picture, I would never have said that. And then you're sitting there going, oh, well, but I got to bring my best too. And you kind of push each other. So that song was 100% a great co-write, and I'm really happy to be, we put that song out, and you can find it everywhere right now. I think when this thing comes out, it should be everywhere. Cigarettes and Jesus on iTunes and Spotify, and hear it at the shows. But the writing process as a whole, for me, one of my tricks for writing is just to always write. It's a daily craft. I'm one of them people that people don't like, because I don't believe in writer's block. I think you write every day, and you wake up and you're disciplined about it. You can make up some really poetic stuff about there's no rules to writing, and it's just this free flowing thing. But I'm a believer of there are rules to songwriting, and you need to learn them, and then you need to break all of them, and that's how you find out who you are as a writer. And you have to explore and learn how that is. But I'm a big believer in just writing every day. I journal every day. If I don't have my guitar, I'm writing something with words. Words are part of the tool. Melodies are part of the tool. And it's just a constant craft. I mean, it's really I use that blacksmith analogy because it's hammer in hand and just sweat and chisel and grind. And you got to have the thickest skin out of any human in this world to be a songwriter, man, because you can share something that you think is the best idea in the world, but if other people don't feel that way, it's just dirt. And it's cool. You can sit in your bedroom and pick on that all you want. You can say all that stuff, but that's it, and it depends on why you're making it too, because the truth is, for some people, that's okay to do that. Sit in your room, play your songs. But if you want to be a songwriter, it's hand-to-hand combat, man. I really truly believe that.
Right. If it doesn't move other people, it ain't going to get you anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you schedule time for that?
I try to, so like in my day, so I try to sit down daily, and I'm a big journal guy. I've always been like kind of dorky about it, but I try to do that. It's hard. I mean, I have a wife and 3 boys, and my wife's an entrepreneur and has an incredible photography business. And so, we always have a ton of stuff going on. So, but I try to do that daily. I'm not going to say it happens every day. And then, naturally you just kind of become a writer where every conversation you're in, you're kind of always having that writing brain on. It's, talking to an old guy at the gas station about politics, and you hear some line that he throws out about, well, from east to west, man, I don't see it going either way. And you think, well, what did he just say? I just made that up. But like,
right.
What is that? Like put that in my pocket. I'm going to go back home and I'm going to write something about that. And it might be something completely different, or talking to my grandma at Thanksgiving or whatever it is, or something my kids said. It's kind of always, for me, the process is just, it's a muscle. You got to use it. You got to allow it to be there. And then really just truly loving every second of it, good or bad.
Right.
It's a pretty, I don't know if I can say this. It's a shitty way to go about a lot of things in life. It's a hard thing to go about, but it's good, man. I'm definitely addicted to it to the point of.
I feel to be successful, you also have to just be brutally honest, which is just a difficult thing for people in general.
Yep. So, with yourself, with other people, it's revealing. I mean, yeah, it's a process. If you're doing it right, it's out there every time, showing yourself. Judgment, bring it all on, bring it all in, and you take it. And a lot of people, I think, write, and then they get that far, and it feels cool, and it's good, but then the real stuff starts happening, and that's hard to deal. It's hard to do. It's a hard thing to say, I'm going to be somebody that's going to be truthful. I struggle with it. I mean, I got a lot of demons and skeletons in my closet. I don't mean I'm showing them all, but I want to. And there's times where it's like, is this too much? Is it too much for me even, but I think I'm at a place right now where I feel really good about that. And I feel like I'm more my freshman self than I ever have been, about just a purity in life and my faith and my relationships. And, man, the music thing can take you in and out of that stuff hard. Obviously we've all seen it, but, for me, it's all part of the process. It's all life, and you are a songwriter. It's not something that you just do. I really believe that.
Yeah, that's for sure. How old are the boys?
Oh yeah, man. 12, 7, and the new one is a year and a half or so.
Wow.
They're all spread out, man. We just we took 4 years in between, just looked at each other like, you want to have another one? Like, all right, let's go. Yeah, they're spread out pretty good. I had the first one young, and but yeah, our house is nonstop right now. It's good.
How do you find time for everything?
Schedule
for family and
we schedule
and music.
Yeah, it's our schedule's a lot. Our calendar's a lot. We're very regimented on that. It's to the point where we kind of annoying to some people now, where it's like, no, this is Sunday and this is when we do this, because there's only 168 hours in a week, and so if it's time to watch Netflix at 9:00, then that's where we better be, and so that allows me also. I'm gone a lot. I'm in Nashville a lot writing. 2017, 2018, I was there pretty much every week of the year, Monday through Wednesdays, writing songs. And this year is very much about, I'm going to be down less, but I've kind of found my camp and writing with some of my good friends that I've got some great writes with. And so if I schedule that time, then it allows me to schedule time for quote unquote business of writing. So if I'm gone for 3 days, I make sure I'm locked in and home for Saturday at this time or whatever. And that's obviously it's going to become more of a problem the more that we tour and the more we're out on the road. But it's I'm blessed, man. My wife's an incredible person, an incredible woman. And she's a badass mom. And I think we're kind of the point where we've been together long enough where we're really starting to enjoy the whole marriage thing. It's like, oh, this is good. If we lean into it, it's actually pretty decent. So we had a great time growing up and kind of learning who each other was. And I say great, she'd probably cuss and say it was not so great. But yeah, we're in a good place right now, man. I'm very grateful. Just tons of gratitude for where we're at. It's busy. It's busy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That schedule though, it's an important thing to keep tight.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is. And it goes in a flash. It goes in a flash.
Just to be successful, it's at anything. You've got to stay tight to a schedule.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer in that.
Oh, yeah. I showed up 5 minutes late, so sorry.
Yeah,
I did have a road close.
He was a whole 5 minutes late. He texted me like 4 or 5 times to let me know he was on his way.
Right in the middle of nothing, and there was a road closed sign. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, they're closed.
All right. Well, let's take another break and have another listen to a song.
Yeah, man, it fits really good into what we were talking about with life and everything. I mean, this one's definitely about the timeline that we've been on and just not letting it go too fast and kind of enjoying it along the way.
Nice.
I wrote this song with Shelly Tackett, Blue Foley, and Mr. Chad Wilson in Whitefish, Montana. And this song, we got to go out there for my writing's really just been. I looked the other day. I think I've wrote with 50 different people in the last year, just co-writing and learning kind of who I was through that process. And out in Montana, we got to go out there on a songwriting retreat with a bunch of friends from Nashville, and I was blessed to be able to go on that trip. And after we sat and wrote this song, I kind of went out by myself and just took a minute to just kind of look up at the big sky, if you will, and it kind of hit me like, man, I think we just got one. And I know I love a song when it just kind of stops me in my tracks, and this song did that. It's kind of new to the fold, if you will. So hope you enjoy it. This one's called "Time Only Runs One Way."
Casey tore down the driveway, dragging his Star Wars lunchbox and his brand new shoes and Levi's. Mom and Daddy bought first day of school. I wanted to go too. Next thing you know, I was 12 years old, baseball cards in the spokes, chasing dust, his first truck, and there I was. I wanted to go too. I heard the whistle call me back. My old man lit up a cigarette. He said, son, time only runs one way. Don't hurry, tomorrow can't wait. Live the moment that you're in, 'cause now is all you're gonna get. You know what I'm talking about someday. Don't wish your life away. Baseball cards turn into Little League, and my little man said, Daddy, did you see I was chasing down the American dream? Checking emails on my phone. And I looked down, and those blue eyes were looking up at me. I could hear my old man say, time only runs one way. Don't hurry, tomorrow can't wait. Live the moment that you're in, 'cause now is all you're gonna get. You'll know what I'm talking about someday. Don't wish your life away. And I could feel the cold of the bed frame. I was bedside as he reached for me. Family all came and went. That was the first time I felt bigger than him. He took his breath, made his peace. These were the last words he ever said to me. Time only runs one way. Don't hurry, tomorrow can't wait. Live the moment that you're in, 'cause now is all you're gonna get. You know what I'm talking about someday. Don't wish your life away. Don't wish your life away.
All right, killer stuff. When's that come out?
Oh man, this summer will be out for sure. Both the songs the singles will be out and or are out by this time. Yeah, so you can catch it anywhere. Both of them, we got new music, new videos. A lot of tour dates happening, and we got some cool festivals that we're hitting, and talking about going to the West Coast, and so it should be a good year for sure.
What festivals you playing?
So we're doing a lot of stuff around Cincinnati, just some summer stuff, because I kind of feel like we stayed away a little bit too much, and kind of giving some hometown love for some things like that. And honestly, right now, dude, I don't even know. You might have to edit this out because I don't even know. I just know we have dates on the calendar.
Nice.
Dates are coming. We need. I mean, just to be transparent, like hopefully when I listen to this, I can look back and think, because we're at a point where we just can't go away right now. I mean, that's the trick. Like, we've kind of built this thing, we're growing it and learning it, and it's a constant every day getting better at what we're doing. We've got some attention of some folks that want to put us on the road. We've talked to some tours about opening. We've talked to it's talk. Everybody wants to talk. And so 2020 hopefully is the year when we're listening to this, you can check off the fact that we are doing some of that stuff, because we're in some good conversations, and I'm hopeful for it. Other than that, and if that next level business stuff that changes our lives doesn't happen, we keep doing it the way we're doing it, and just the long cut of growing it every day and
amen,
pushing it and learning. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, you can catch us. You can find everything, noahsmithmusic.com. All my tour dates are always on there.
So the singles and stuff are coming out or are out.
Yeah.
What else you got recorded? You got other stuff out?
Yeah, so we're actually planning on be back in the studio. I'm always in my home studio writing, recording demos, and building it out. So, but I'm really looking forward to writing this between, between January and middle of the summer, I got some great co-writes coming up with people that just I really look forward to writing with, and so I'm really excited. My head's in writing land and just finding the right songs, and so we'll definitely be looking to put maybe a full record out. We have our live record on vinyl and all that kind of stuff, but new songs and new music. We're definitely. I would venture to say we're going to be putting a record out at some point. I'm going to be putting a full record out or an EP, but the 2 singles are definitely out and loving it and having a good time with it.
Nice. So the live record is the only thing out.
Yeah, so we have I have one full record called Long Cut, and it's you can find that at Spotify and iTunes. And then my first EP that I ever put out in 2014 is still out there floating around. It's just called Noah Smith, and you can find everything at Noah Smith Music. Type that in on any kind of social media. Find Noah Smith Music, and but yeah, new music, new tour dates, new states, and it's been good. We're hitting Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, for sure. And then we'll be back up in Michigan later on in 2020. So we're anywhere we've been, we're definitely hitting again, and then just trying to find new places to go meet new friends.
Nice. Heading out west, you said?
Possibly. We've talked to a couple festivals in California and Texas. Hopefully, by the time this is out, those will be up on the calendar. We're just in talks kind of early on in the year, planning and still settling up some stuff from last year, festivals and things like that. So, it's me in my office and booking the music, the cool rock and roll, independent country and touring rock and roll and whatever business is me on my office chair sending emails. That's really that is really the glamour of it all. There's a lot of that has to happen in order to make the cool stuff, the cool show poster happen.
That's the rock star lifestyle right there.
I think we're gone are the days of getting coked out of your minds and just playing music. I don't even know how they did it. You couldn't do it. You can't do it now. It's so oversaturated. Everybody has a band. Everybody's a writer.
Well, somebody else made money, and they just got coked out of their head.
They just got the coke. Yeah. So we stay away from that.
Yeah, no doubt. So I know you talked about writing, and you started out writing and being persistent on doing your own thing. But what were your influences growing up?
Man, I always joke and say I was kind of a punk rock kid. That was just the age I was. But my real influences, like what I was listening to, was like Brand New and Taking Back Sunday, and Blink 182. Like, as funny as that sounds now, but it's like that was everything at that time, like that real influential time in my life. Like, that was it. And then there was a ton of Dashboard Confessional was like, that was their lyrics, or his lyrics were just insane to me, and that kind of stuff. And it's just, that sounds funny now to talk about it, but with that, I grew up, Alan Jackson was always being played at home. Paul Simon was probably the biggest musical influence, just because my mom, going with her back and forth to work, she would always have Paul Simon. So Paul Simon was huge to me. Alan Jackson was my first love for country music, and then Brooks and Dunn was huge as well, just their songwriting. And growing up where I'm from, out here where we're from, you can't get away from country music in some right. But
absolutely. I really was that punk rock kid. And I still know all the old country songs.
It was still around. It's the culture. It's the culture. I live in a bean field still now. I mean, right. and that's what's around us. So, grew up doing tobacco. So stripping tobacco, hanging tobacco, cutting tobacco, working construction, being in 4-H and FFA. And I kind of had this weird back and forth with that, because my home life was very much that. But then, my way out was to be in a rock and roll band. And that was like if I ever had a thing of like, I want to get out of this town, music was going to be the way I was going to do it. But I love where I still live. I live 5 minutes from where I grew up. I'm raising my family in Brown County, Ohio. Absolutely love it. And, but yeah, rock and roll, I mean, the punk side of that, I also got tired of that too, because people's like, oh, just punk rock. It's like, if you're so punk rock, why do you got to call yourself punk? Like, if you're so outlaw country that you don't listen to anything on the radio, why do you got to call yourself an outlaw? Like, just be that, just be who you are. So I was kind of this person that, I was in theater in high school, but I also played on the soccer team. Like, I was into art, but I also was into, you know, welding and FFA, and like my parents just gave me this appreciation for art and everything. You know, I saw what my dad did and hard work. Like, it's an art to pour concrete. Like, and I just had that element with everything. So I was never like, let's go out and hunt and we're just gonna wear camo all the time. But I've done that, and I wasn't ever just like, we're gonna go be this proper music school kid and do it this way. But I've done that. Like, you know, it's so I've always had this back and forth of it. And that's one reason I love Nashville so much is, you know, they're just, the culture is so rich in the music, and you're there just for the songs, and country music's it's stories and it's real, and other musics are stories and real too. So I just love it all, man. I love music. I love songs and metal. I love, you know, I'd love to write with some metal bands. If any metal bands want to write lyrics, like, I'd love to talk.
It's good to be well-rounded.
Yeah, David Allan Coe. I mean, I think he had some like Pantera songs or something along the way that seriously, like, or Kid Rock, you know, along the way. But
I could totally see that.
yeah, it's just finding those tools, you know, and life gives you all these experiences, and you use it and chisel it and make use of it what you will.
Well, it's all music.
Yeah. And country, at the root of it, country music. There's some jerk guy I went to high school with. I saw something about posting on Facebook and kind of got gripey on one time about the music I was going to make. And I love that this is going out there. Hopefully they hear it. But the truth is like, well, he's doing country music. Like, he used to play punk rock. It's like, well, guess what? When I was playing punk rock, like, when I'd get home and have to go to work, like, I was listening to country music. And then, you know, I was out working in tobacco fields. I would go to the punk rock show that night. Like, it was just the community. It was all good for me. It was all good. There wasn't this label on it. You know, it's just, that's right. What my childhood looked like, and that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I fell in love with all through college, and here we are today, still talking about it.
Right. I think we'd be all a lot better off to drop some of those labels.
Yeah, the genre thing's weird.
Locally.
The genre thing's weird. It's a weird element. But the cool thing about songs is, and songwriters and if you're a songwriter, you can look past all of that. So the artist and the band thing, the people that are on the promo images, I get it. It's all marketing. It's all business. Marketing kills it all, and it all regurgitates and all circles back. But if you get down to the songs, I don't care what kind of genre it is, there's a story to be told. And if you're doing it right, even if you're screaming and it sounds like you got marbles in your throat, or even if you're so twangy nobody can understand you, if you're doing it right, a story wins. The song wins. Electric, acoustic, metal, fiddle, violin, I don't care what you call it, the song wins. It all starts with a song. Yeah.
Without a good song, you don't have anything. All that promotion and all that.
That's right.
All that glitz and glamour and hype, it doesn't mean anything unless you've got a good song behind it.
And even on the pop side of things, there's a lot of rootsy, kind of grungy, this and that guys, that people that want to hate on pop music. But man, the best pop songs, if you really break them down, are just incredible. Yeah, you get rid of all the bubble gum. There's a real songwriter behind. They're hard. Those are harder to write. I'll challenge anybody. Write a happy poppy song. It's way harder than a sad song. Everybody can write a sad song. Everybody can be sad.
It's true.
How do you write a happy song? Like, that's hard. That's actually on my list of, like, start writing some happy stuff, because I like to write some sad stuff.
Right.
Flex that muscle a little bit. I set out last year or 2 years ago, I was like, I'm going to write some female songs, you know, and through that end up getting a song, and you just every day waking up and saying, okay, what are we going to do today, Pinky? Try to take over the world.
That's right. What's some of your local favorites? Your local favorite artists?
Honestly, man, one of my favorites is a guy that's in the van with me everywhere we go, Michael Moeller. Incredible songwriter. I was grateful when he asked me to produce his first project. That's not why I love what he does, but it's great. And he's actually putting out another project. He's a great songwriter. Obviously, we're best dudes on the road, and he's stage left playing mandolin and banjo. But him as a writer, as an artist, I think he's got something special to give the world, and he's crafting that. There's a new guy in town. I think he's probably on this podcast. I think you said Nolan Taylor. He's not a new guy in town.
Second episode, yeah.
Yeah, he's not
amazing.
new guy in town, but he's new to me, and it popped up, and everybody. I actually got 2 texts from 2 different people that said, "Man, you need to check this kid out, and you need to talk to him." And I was like, "Well, what do I need to talk to him about? Like, what's going on?" And I heard his stuff. I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, all right." So, yeah, man, we've been talking about writing together and growing that. There's 2 Adam Lees in Cincinnati, Sunday Drive, so I think's on here. And Adam Lee from Ludlow, Kentucky, he's a great songwriter. Sunday Drive is a great what they do. I think they're making good art, and the way they're doing it's really integrity driven, and I appreciate that.
And putting the hard work behind it.
For sure.
They really are out there doing it. What about venues?
Man, Cincinnati's got some great spots. I mean, obviously the bigger venues are legendary. 2 of my favorite places in town. One is the Southgate House Revival in Newport, Kentucky.
I so bad want to play there. That's the church.
Yeah, it's the spot for me, man. My heart's there. Just they kind of gave me a chance in town when we were doing our shows growing up, and started doing stuff at the old spot. We did our record release there, both of my record releases there, and we'll be doing a show in March there, and the Ludlow Garage in Cincinnati.
Absolutely
huge,
legendary.
Yeah, huge history behind that, and that's 1970. The Allman Brothers did a live record there, and in 2018. I recorded a live record there with my band, and you can get that on YouTube. You can find it Noah Smith Music on YouTube, and it's also on vinyl. We have the live record on vinyl, and so yeah, we got a chance to do that. We also did do our New Year's Eve show. So Ludlow Garage, 20th Century Theater is a great room, one of the best sounding rooms in Cincinnati, and I love going to see bigger shows at the Taft Theater because I just grew up seeing things at the Taft, and never played the Taft. Played in the Taft's basement in the ballroom, but
I've never been in the Taft. I've been in the ballroom several times.
Yeah.
Most of the bands I listen to aren't big enough to make the ballroom.
Yeah, the ballroom's kind of a secret place, I think, in town. A lot of people don't know that it's even a venue unless you're following a specific artist, you know.
Let's take a break and have a listen to another song.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
This one's called Should Have Seen Me Yesterday. Didn't pop my first top today until 2 p.m. I didn't sit there and swear that you're the reason for the shape I'm in. I didn't switch to the hard stuff like I usually do when your name comes up. I didn't tell that cab to double back and drive me by your house. I went straight home, didn't call your phone to see if you were out, if you think I'm doing okay. Should have seen me yesterday. I was a full-blown case of missing you, pouring drinks, doing anything to ease the pain of you leaving. If you're thinking I'm down and out, in a bad way, you should have seen me yesterday. I didn't come here to talk about us working this out. I didn't come here to buy you another drink or go another round. You're a day too late, I'm on my way, I'm getting over you. Should have seen me yesterday. I was a full-blown case of missing you, pouring drinks, doing anything to ease the pain of you leaving. If you're thinking I'm down and out, broken in a bad way, you should have seen me yesterday. Should have seen me yesterday. Every day that goes by, I'm getting by a little better than the last. Should have seen me yesterday. I was a full-blown case of missing you, pouring drinks, doing anything to ease the pain of you leaving. If you're thinking have seen me yesterday. Should have seen me yesterday.
All right, great stuff, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Well, I only got one question left. What's the best song you've ever written?
Oh man, the wise man right now. I think the wise Noah would say it's one I haven't written yet. I haven't written it yet. I have a problem with the wrote and written thing, but one that I've already written. I have a song, I mentioned it earlier on, that I wrote when I was in 8th grade called Live, Love, Love. And I had this thought of if we could love each other twice as much as we worry about living our own life. So that's where Live, Love, Love came from, that we'd all be a little bit better off, you know. Life handed me a lot of things that went against that, you know, so... But I still play that song out, and it's probably never going to win a Grammy, but it could. You never know. Who knows? But I fall in love with it every time I play it, and so that song is really special to me. And there's a live version of it out somewhere, but I plan to like never record it. I just want it to be a live thing that I do. Some of my Real Deal fans that kind of travel around, they've caught it in some spots that I've pulled it out and played it. So yeah, it's called Live, Love, Love, and wrote it in the 8th grade, and it still reminds me of the type of human that I wanted to be when I was that age, you know. And but we blur the lines as we grow and make mistakes and mess relationships up, and then next thing you know, you turn around and look back and at 32, and it's like, okay, that was that part. Like, no, let's give this part a shot. Yeah, so that's definitely my favorite one.
Well, it's got to be a good song to stick around that long.
Yeah.
I think we've all got that one song that we wrote in high school or wrote early on that just stuck with you. And
yeah, and you know, there's a lot of truth to that. It's like, don't overthink it. Sometimes it's right. Like sometimes I've been in some rooms writing. It's like, is this too simple? It's like, well, maybe it's right, you know, and maybe it's okay that it's that simple. That's the right words to say.
You know, Nirvana didn't become the biggest band in the world for no reason.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. The Foo Fighters might be giving them a shot now.
Well, I think they've surpassed them at this point.
But yeah, the point is there.
Time,
it's funny just when you said that.
At the time, it was just nursery rhymes. You
right.
know? It's that simple.
Yep, that's right.
And I think that's why that band really blew up. I mean...
Yeah, I think it's a challenge. Sometimes we just have to give ourselves permission. Like, it's okay that this is simple. It's okay that, you know, when we always want to beat everybody when we start out writing songs, we want to make this guitar lick's got to be better than that. It's like, well, maybe it was right because it was just what it was. And
there's a reason that there's 10,000 songs with G, C, and D. All right.
I played 2 of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, Noah, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Where can people find you at?
Oh, dude, I appreciate it. You can find everything I do and me and the band will be out touring, new music's out, new videos out. You can find everything at www.noahsmithmusic.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everything at Noah Smith Music.
Awesome. Go check it out, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. I really had a great time hanging out with Noah. He's welcome back here anytime he wants to come. I highly suggest that you go out and check out a Noah Smith show while you can still do it in a small venue. If you'd like to contact me about the show, or if you'd like to record with ManHound Sound Studio, you can get a hold of me at manhoundsound@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook at ManHound Sound Studio to keep up with all the latest. And if you enjoyed the show, please go over to iTunes and leave us a review. My guest next month is J.C. Alexander. He's out of Chillicothe, Ohio. He's with the band Pointless Pleading. They've got a new record coming out soon, and Pointless Fest coming up in June. I hope to see you out there. From ManHound Sound Studio, I'm Bill Wardlow. Thanks for listening.